we'll just launch into it. I mean, pretty much, but essentially your lyric writing is so mature for you're 22.
20, I just turned 23.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations on 23.
Thank you so much.
We made it. But you know, just the level of maturity you have as a 23-year-old is wild. It's just like Gen Z. I don't know what trauma you've been through, but like, holy crap, you guys, your songwriting is just so diary, like straight out of Ashley and I's diary from the 1990s, you know, just how do you feel as like being so publicly vulnerable, you know, that's got to be really hard for someone your age.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much. That is so kind. And also just thank you guys so much for your support on the project. Like genuinely, I really, really do appreciate it. It was my first release or first big release. So it really meant a lot. Like any corner of support that I got, like it meant everything to me. But so to answer your question, I feel like as songwriters, it's kind of our job to kind of communicate the feelings that everyone feels and normalize them in a way. So with that project especially, it's the first time I was really comfortable with like letting all my walls down and only writing very candidly and not what I thought people would be able to digest most easily. Because I feel like in past releases, I was very much like, okay, what is going to apply to the broader audience like the best? Like what are people going to relate to the most? And I felt like with that perspective, I was losing a lot of realness. And people can see that. They see like, okay, this is just like, you know, there's a wall, there's a curtain over what you're actually feeling. So with this project, it was the first time I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna sing about like whatever the hell I'm feeling in that moment. And that was a big turning point for me, because when I stopped and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like actually write about things that have been really bothering me or things that I feel like no one's gonna understand. Yeah. And with that perspective, that's when most people can understand it. So I wanted to just sort of be like this communicator to people and sort of be like, okay, like, yeah, we all feel like we're alone in these feelings and we all feel like, oh my God, no one's going to understand how I feel. But at the end of the day, everyone understands what you feel. We're all human.
Exactly. And I think it just, like you're saying, that realness, that authenticity is something I think appreciate so much in music right now. It's been so beautiful to kind of see this generation of young women just owning their feelings and being like, you're kind of a dickhead, you know, like really not letting the patriarchy bring them down in a way, so to speak, you know? And it's just really cool to talk to people your age, like you, who make this, I call it alt pop. I call it the Olivia Rodrigo effect. Like it's really like come into its own genre this year. And it's probably one of my most listened to genres. Is that something you grew up loving? Like what was the kind of inspiration behind the melody, like the music itself?
Yeah, so I grew up on a lot of rock music. My mom is a musician, so she got me into the Killers when I was really young. They're my favorite band. I love the Killers so much. And then also I grew up on Bruce Springsteen. I'm from Jersey. So those are kind of my two muses. And I started playing the piano when I was like 4. So that was the way that I was writing music when I started writing when I was probably like 10 or 11. So the first songs that I wrote were like just piano ballads. And I was like, okay, cool. These are great. Whatever. These are fun. And then I got to a point where I was like, I want to like jump around on stage. Like I want to have fun. Like, I feel like I was like restricting myself. Like I felt like I was like, I don't want to be stuck behind this piano on stage. I love doing that. And sometimes I still will like get behind the piano and do like a song like that. But
that's such a fun moment to have. That's such a like connection kind of moment, but we want you to jump around on stage too.
Exactly. So I felt like I also learned guitar, or I've known guitar, but I got better at guitar over COVID. So then when I kind of started incorporating guitar into my music a bit more, I kind of made this transition into like more of rock influenced pop music.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like definitely a turning point for me and for my music. And I also grew up on a lot of like Avril Lavigne type of music. She's so awesome. She's also another huge muse of mine. And
Yes.
I remember my first iPod when I was 6 was just all Avril Lavigne music. And
Yes.
I she made 6-year-old me angsty somehow.
Yeah.
And I was like,
She
I've
made
never lost.
11-year-old me very angsty. So
It's
I
like,
get it.
that is so amazing that you can make a literal like first grader be like, I know what my parents don't understand me. Like, that is crazy. So I was like, I feel like I've always felt like that from
Yeah.
such a young age. And I want to be able to, communicate that in my music. And then I felt like kind of simultaneously my thoughts and also like my production and my my just instrumentalist
Yeah.
self was kind of morphing into this like kind of more defined version of myself and who I am musically and what type of music that I make. So
Yeah.
I feel like that is
That's crazy though, because I was gonna say, like, you remind me so much of Avril Lavigne,
gosh, thank
I
you.
even vocally, like, I was thinking about it, and I was an alto, so like me and my deep throated girls, like our deep register, like I
Yes.
am obsessed with us coming into our fucking era. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but I grew up when it was like, no, you have to be a belter, you have to be a mezzo soprano, and I'm like,
Yeah, I was also an
no.
alto, and I was like my chorus teacher would be like, "Are you okay being an alto?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, fuck yeah, like I'll
Yeah.
lead the altos. Let's do it, girls."
I
Like,
mean, we get the shit end of the stick in a lot of songs, but we hold it down. Okay. We hold it down.
yep.
And I just think that's so nice to like finally hear musicians, hear artists who have that deeper kind of voice. And it's like sexier isn't the word, but just a little bit more like, a little
Yeah,
zhuzh.
totally. Love that so much.
Yeah, but literally, like, you do remind me so much of Avril Lavigne, the production wise too. Now that I think about it,
Mhm.
holy crap, you really do have that vibe, and
Thank you.
it's so modern. It's such a nice fresh take, especially your song Middle Child, I think it's
Middle
called
kid, yeah.
Middle Kid.
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're a middle kid.
I am, yes.
I think that's so one of my I just know a lot of non-middle kids, but I know their sisters or brothers and I know who are. And I'm like, yeah, and it's almost insights like that that bring a lot of wittiness into your music. Do you find that, I'm assuming that's just you in daily life, do you kind of like making music that's a little bit sassier, a little bit more, playful, I guess you could say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big theme of my music in general, but definitely the EP that I put out was self-deprecation. Like in a lot of my songs, I'm like, I'm just gonna like be super honest about it. And we all have so many self-deprecating thoughts. I wish that wasn't the case, but I feel like in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like this stupid middle kid. I'm like always the one that's fighting with everybody. I'm always the one that's like fighting with my parents. I was always kind of like the problem growing up. I
Yeah.
always had like a bruise on my head because I would fall down and hit my head. Like I was just such a poster child for like being the middle kid. So I was like, this is so funny. And then also like as a child, it was so obvious that I was the middle kid. And then growing up, it's kind of expressed itself in like different ways. So I feel like
Interesting.
self-deprecation is like such a big theme in my music. And I just want to be like super transparent about like what's going on. Like there is no part of me that is any close to perfect. And I'm like, who am I hiding from? Like, I just gotta speak really openly about like what I'm feeling and kind of the things that I'm dealing with and the
Yeah.
ways that I doubt myself. So I feel like that was definitely a big theme in the project for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Ashley and I literally were just talking about this today of how we are overly self-deprecating to where it like hinders us a lot
Yep.
and really holds us back from doing things because we just get so in our heads and so in our brains. So like to hear music that is like, no, that's me too. It's like,
Mm.
thank God, it's
Yeah,
just,
it's almost using it as like a superpower. It's like okay, sure, I like have all
Yeah.
these doubts about myself, but like fuck it, I'm gonna write a song about it and monetize it, you know?
Thank
So
you.
why not?
Please do monetize the shit out of it, because truly, like, I will, that's better. I mean, I shouldn't say that, my therapist would be mad, but it's like therapy, it's
Yeah,
basically free
100%.
therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I love that though. It's, again, it is such a refreshing take to be so open and honest about who you are, not something that, 90s babies really grew up with. And so I think my generation, my age of people are so in love with the music you guys make and the music that is coming out and really owning yourself. Do you feel like a strong, badass kind of person all the time? Because you
Mhm.
should. I'm telling you now, you should. But, does that, do you see the power that lies kind of within you and your generation?
I think I'm working on it.
Good.
I think with my friends and the circle that I surround myself with, I'm constantly like in awe of them. And I feel very lucky to be, around the people that I'm constantly around because I'm just so inspired by like literally my best friends. Like my roommate that I share a wall with, I'm like, I have no idea how you are this incredible at what you do. And it's so cool because I'm so in awe of like everybody around me all the time, which I think is great and also really motivating because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, I want to see myself the way that I see them.
Yes.
But I think sometimes it could be a little bit like, oh my god, like compare yourself to people. And I live with so many musicians, so I'm like, it's helped me so much just be like, I'm my own person. I work hard, I do my thing. And so like the past few months, it's been a lot since I started putting music out, it's been a lot easier being like, okay, cool. I'm like, I'm getting there. Like I'm doing my thing. Like my hard work is paying off. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think I'm close. I'm not there yet,
Good,
but
good,
I'm close.
because I think owning your power is so important, and it's something you can't really teach. So it's like, I want, just please everyone, own your power. Like, I just want, especially musicians. So obviously you're playing live. Like, what has life been like since the EP came out in September? Like, what's been happening with you?
A ton of live. I did
Yes.
3 shows since the project came out the end of September. So to do the math, it was like 1 show at the end of September and then 2 in October. And then I'm doing 1 in the beginning of December. So I've been
Nice.
just kind of going at it with the live shows, which has been so fun. Because obviously with COVID, there was like a big hiatus of like no live shows. And within that kind of span of time, my music took a whole new genre. Like it just
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
so
You
much.
just changed it as a person.
Exactly. So I had my first show back after COVID a year ago, exactly like a year and 5 days
Whoa. Oh
ago.
my gosh.
And it was on my 22nd birthday, the first show back after COVID. And it was my
Nice.
first time like playing my new music for everybody. My first time like actually being able to like move around on stage and kind of own that. And it was like the best night of my life because I was like, this is like exactly how I pictured myself when I was a kid, like getting up on stage and jumping around and having the best time and getting off stage and being like, hell yeah, I killed that. That was so fun. I want to go back up there. And it was just such a fun moment for me. And also just fun because I know I go to a senior in college. And so a lot of people would be like, oh, cool, like she makes music, cool, but I have no idea what it sounds like. So that was my first time to be like, this is who I am, like this is what I do. And
Yeah.
it was so great. And then I played a couple shows in March. And it was just same thing. So now I'm really just getting a handle on my live show. And I feel like it's like quickly becoming the best version of what it can be. And my band is just superb. My band is
Yes.
amazing. And I've been working with a lot of them for like multiple years. Like my drummer, and my bassist, we've been playing together since like freshman, sophomore year of
Oh my God.
college.
Are
So
they
like,
like friends of yours
yeah,
basically from nice. I love
yeah.
that.
My guitar player is one of my roommates, and then my drummer and my bassist and like my MD are all like great, just
That's
really close
so
friends of mine.
cool.
So having that like banter and just that comfortability with each other is
Energy
just been
too.
so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like we had a case a couple weeks ago where we had like a sound malfunction and we had to kind of like improv the set without, because usually we play with tracks and then the band plays
Right.
too, and we couldn't do the track, so we had to just play it. And we sat before we huddled up and we like had the set list in front of us and we were like, okay, Connor, you have to play this part because this is not on the track anymore. Like Becca, like cut out for this part and then come in really hard. Like we all knew the song so well that it was like, okay, we know how to make this work and we know how to sell it, and no one had a clue that we were just winging it. So it was like just having that safety net of like the most kick-ass musicians behind me is so great and so awesome. So yeah,
and such a support, you know,
such a support. Yeah,
just
exactly.
like the I'm sure the panic in your eyes, and you're just like, nope, we're gonna, you know, like I look at Ashley all the time, I'm like, or she does the same to me, and it's like, no, we're gonna get through this, it's fine. And you end up almost being better because you're like, let me overcome this shit, you know. Let me.
Exactly. And like two of them have been on tour a couple of times and
hell yeah,
they were like, this shit's gonna happen on tour. And now you know what to do when it does. Like you know that you
so
can
good
succeed and play this show and it's gonna be great. So it was, I came out of that with like a lot of I was just really happy after that. Like I was just feeling like I thought I would leave that show and be like, fuck, like I'm embarrassed. But I was like, that was sick. Like that was awesome. So I'm feeling great about that. And then just in general, playing live this past like couple of months has been really great. And especially now that the music's out, like that the last show that I played, there was a bunch of people in the front row, like some of them that I didn't even know, like singing the words to my songs, which I've never had before. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like it was one of the it was like that moment that you see like when it's like the artist's first time experiencing that. And I was just like, oh my God. And I had a couple of fans there that found me and were there, and I like gave one of them my set list, and it was like this whole moment. I was like, I've never had this before. So just having put music out and then now being able to like perform for people, and just like even for my friends and whoever was in the room at the time, like is just, I feel so lucky to be able to do that. So that's like definitely been taking up most of my time. And then I have a bunch of releases at the top of the new year. So I'm really excited for those too.
Oh no. Yes.
I'm
That's
really
so
excited.
cool. I can only imagine that feeling though of seeing someone sing your songs to you. I mean, I always do that in shows and you never really like think about it, but that's got to be just woo, a core memory, like core memory 100% of just, and especially because I like to say we're a lot better as fans and listeners of finding new music, finding the smaller artists that, you know, mean a lot more to us than just these like pop people that are, you know, very unattainable. But you are very attainable, you are very relatable, and I think that's why people are going to connect with you so well, especially at these shows, because you're just a goof and everyone else is kind of just a goof. And it's like, just own your goofiness and we're all friends, you know. I bet in regards to like where are you based out of?
I'm in LA right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So like LA has so many opportunities to like really build up your community. Is that kind of your goal with playing live shows? And like, are you on social media doing the whole musician on TikTok kind of thing? Like what are you, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think I definitely want my image to exist more in a human to human basis. So I love doing live stuff and building my community around that. And I think that I have done like, I've gotten really lucky and been able to use my environment really well. There's just such a great like backyard scene in LA.
Yes, there is.
It's so awesome. And that just fits the type of music that I make so well. So I've just been able to meet such amazing musicians and play at such cool DIY venues and some awesome backyards, playing just some cool places. So I feel like I've really kind of been building that network and that sort of scene for myself, which I think that is my priority. I want people to, you know, see me live and be like, oh, cool, I love her music. I'm going to follow her, or I'm going to go listen to her on Spotify, or maybe like I'll go follow her on TikTok because I saw that. And then the social media stuff for me like is always going to be secondary. I of course think it's super important. And I will do my little dance on TikTok. But I primarily for me, it's like the scene building is the most important thing. And then for TikTok, it's taken me a long time to kind of get my flow. and I lose it every couple of weeks, but I do get it back.
Do too.
And it's tough, but it's because I think for a while I was like, I don't want to make like trendy. I just made the song of the summer videos. Like I felt so inauthentic
Awkward. Yeah.
that, and I was like, I can't
Yeah.
do this. And everyone in my life was pushing it. They're like, just go on TikTok. It's gonna be great. It's gonna make your dreams come true. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't want to like be a sellout and do that. Like it just felt so, and it works for some people. Like some people are just naturals at doing that. And I
Yeah.
envy them. Like I'm like, I wish that I could do that, but I can't. Like I'm just not a put my camera in front of me and talk type of person. I'm so
Same.
awkward.
Yeah.
So now I've kind of figured out what my TikTok niche is, and realize that like I can just make stuff that like makes sense for me, and I don't have to like go off of anyone else's
Formula.
or
Yeah.
or what worked out for that person probably won't work out for me, and what is going to work out for me probably won't work out for somebody else. So I think it's just all about getting creative and making sense for yourself. And I think a lot of artists like look down on TikTok and they're like, oh my God, it's ruining everything. And I see that perspective 100%. And I do sort of feel that way too. But I also think it's a great way to just connect with people. Like there's so many people just looking to discover new music on TikTok, and there's so many ways to just like get yourself out there. It's just another platform for us.
Yeah.
So I think if you look at it in the sense that, okay, I have to go follow these trends and like be uncomfortable, then that's going to suck for you. But if you look at it like this is just another way to like get people to notice me and hear me and find my music, then it's a lot more of an exciting task to me. So I had to like definitely like rewire my thoughts about TikTok in general. And then once I did, it got a lot easier for me. And like I said, it's definitely like some days I'll post every day, some days I'll post twice a day, and then sometimes I won't post for 2 weeks. So it depends on what I'm going through in the time. But yeah, I try to be active on there, but mostly I want to be active in live. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my main thing.
And I think that is so important. It's almost like I look at TikTok pretty much the same way. Like you find your niche, you find how you flow, you work with it. But you see these reports of artists who have blown up on TikTok. It doesn't translate into real life.
Right.
Real life fans, like they don't go to the shows because they only know one song, right? So it's like not worth it. It's almost like you really do need to still be doing the groundwork of playing live, smaller shows too, especially.
Right.
Like you see these people blow up and they're like already trying to play stadiums, and it's like, whoa, that's not how this works.
Right.
But really focusing on playing the small, playing the backyard venues, because those are people who will be dedicated to you for years, And by the way, do you ever do any like so far shows?
I haven't yet, but I definitely would
You
love
need to, girl. My God, people will fucking go crazy for you. And I really hope you come down to San Diego, because please, Ashley and I will be in the front row singing every word to every song.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I'll definitely, it's so close to me. So I'll definitely
I know.
playing a show there at some point.
It's so funny because we're like, LA, we don't want to go up to LA, and everyone in LA is like, we're not going to go down to San Diego.
I have like a lot of like really cool musician friends from San Diego too.
Yes.
That I've done. So I did a show a couple weeks ago, and one of my friends is from San Diego, and he like drove up and played the show. And then I had another show in my backyard, and we had a San Diego band come for that. So I'm like, now we're kind of all like blending scenes a bit, and like a couple of my roommates are from San Diego. So I feel like that's definitely
gotta be your next
step. I'll definitely go.
And that's the crazy thing is San Diego is really building up. Like we're trying to really put our little mark on the music industry, because we might be small, but we're pretty mighty, you know, and we're so close to LA. We have that great proximity. But at the same time, we are still very like Southern Californians. Like we're just pretty chill people down here, you know? And so we still have that vibe. And it's so much fun to watch shows here, because we're all just like, it's such a different, we might not be hopping up and down during a show, but like we become we're very music people down here. And so I think everyone just don't forget about San Diego. We love you all.
I also feel like San Diego is probably a lot less like networky. Like sometimes in LA, it's like everyone's like talking to the people around them because they're like, oh, who are you? And what can you do for my career? And I feel like just outside of LA, you probably get that like 10 times less.
1,000%.
It's
And
people that
even
are
if it
actually
is,
interested, you know?
yeah, even if it is networky, it's like I said, very chill. It's like, you want to go grab some coffee? And you're like, yeah, it's like,
Great, for
cool.
sure.
It's just so chill. And I feel like that would be your vibe for sure. It's a great little community down here, but I think that's truly wonderful that you're able to perform live. A lot of people get very nervous, especially like their first kind of output into the music world, but you've really taken the bull by the horns and just like, yeah, I'm doing this, let's go kind of attitude. So in the new year, can you announce anything? Can you tell me anything? Like, what's the plan, Stan? Or
Yeah.
secretly tell me and I'll cut it out.
Yeah. So I have a couple of releases, hopefully one in the first week of January. Which, without saying too much, it is a remix of one of the
Oh,
songs that came
fuck
out. So it's
yeah.
not like a new
Song,
song.
but
Yeah, but it's a new version of a song, and it is so good, and I'm literally so excited for
yay.
that to happen. And then the second one is actually going to be a cover. So it'll be a fun. I'm really, really excited for that one too.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of the start of the new year, just kind of like, you know, inching my way back into releasing stuff. And then because so the EP that I put out in September was done, mastered for a year. So it had been written, some of the songs, like almost 2 years or
Which
more than
is
2 years before
insane that you were writing that at the age of like 21. It's
Yeah.
fine. You're just very dumb talented. We get
No,
it.
thank you, thank you. But yeah, no, a lot of them were done for so long. So, you know, in that time before I released the music and when it was done, I was writing new music. So now all of that music is kind of finishing up, and then that's kind of in the pipeline for the new year too. So I have probably like 10 songs that are getting to be finished, and I have the order of like which I want to come out, and I'm so excited. Like it was almost like tough for me to promote the EP because I was so excited for the other stuff to come out. So I'm like, I need to like stop getting ahead of myself a little bit. I love the EP obviously, but I'm also so excited to like put out the music that's more recent and you know, kind of give everyone a little bit, okay, next up, here's
and
more
that's so
music.
funny. You're not the only person I've talked to who was like, I've been sitting on these songs for 2 years, it's been mastered, but because of COVID, because of kind of just the general malaise of humanity recently, I totally get it. It's like you're totally removed from who you were at that point. It's almost weird to go back and sing that, but sing those kinds of emotions when you're like, I mean, yeah, those happen, but I'm so far removed from it now. It's not prevalent in my life, but
Exactly.
I'm really excited for your new stuff.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait. And that's all I have for you, but I'm really excited. Please let us know when you're touring. We need to be there singing these songs loudly, and we'll get the
100%.
homies in there, you know.
Oh my God,
we'll get all
thank
the
you.
old folks from San Diego to come in and hang out.
That's so awesome. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you talking to me. Also, I can send you anything too if you want to hear the new songs. Like I'll send them over.
Yeah, send them over. We'll take a
cool.
listen, and I'll probably just be like, please release this now so I can put it in all my playlists.
Yay.
Because it's, you know, it's just you're a girl forever at this point, and I can't wait for you to blow up and just be your very, very grounded, cool self. So
thank you so much, Kelsey. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. I hope you have a good Friday and
you too.
Enjoy the weekend. My goodness, it's going to be nice and cold and sunny.
I know, I'm so excited. It was so lovely chatting with you, and thank you so much again for all the support and all the love, and I really appreciate you.
Of course. All right, have a good day.
Bye, have a good weekend.
Bye.